Plugin of the week is the Manny Marroquin Distortion. The Manny Marroquin Distortion is a plugin that is built around the signature series of from Manny Marroquin with waves, and it's the idea, or the basic idea behind this plugin from Manny's perspective, is that he likes to add a bit of distortion to many of his sounds, and it is in fact a way to get a bit of an edginess or an edgy kind of quality to something. Now, the cool part about this particular plugin is that it's very different from most distortion plugins, in that this works very differently than does, for example, just like distortion pedal or a reamping kind of thing. And as we start to go through some of the parameters, you really see why, because this actually takes on the characteristics, or basically includes 3 basic levels of processing that include distortion. So you have a compression circuit, you have an equalization circuit, and then you actually have the distortion circuit, and how much and how you work this. So this is a plugin that's not just designed for guitars, although you can use it for that, and it's very cool. And in fact, what we're going to do here is we're going to take a song and we're going to take it and do almost like a little bit of a 9-inch nails kind of thing with it, which is cool. So I'll just kind of show you how you can use this very creatively with lots of effects. So essentially, the plugin itself is very simple. You have an input and an output level control, pretty straightforward, pre and post processing. You have a direct value or direct level. So primarily, this is it seems to be primarily designed to be used on the insert of a track as opposed to an ascend return capacity, but you can do that by pulling the direct level down and putting the distortion level up. So this essentially gives you the ability to mix those signals in independently. Now, the distortion level that you see here is the total amount of distortion. It does not change the quality of the distortion. So if I change the distortion level up, it's not making it more distorted. I'm just hearing more of the distortion that is being created by the drive control. So when you are running the distortion, what happens is you have an attack and a release time. Now, this is not compression. This has to do with where the distortion is in the signal. And this is really critical to shaping the sound, and why it's so different from working with a standard distortion pedal, and why you're really going to love this. So you have an EQ circuit. The bass circuit basically pushes 100 cycles into the distortion. The mid goes on a frequency range from 150 cycles up to 5K, so you have quite a broad range of frequencies there. The treble sits at around 9K with a wide bell. And then you have a low pass filter, so this allows you to filter off high frequencies within the distortion. Now, if we run up a particular sound, so let's just start by running a particular sound in here, we can hear what the signal is with and without. So straight off, it's got like a cool kind of vibe to it, and so even with the drive level, set low here, it's just a minimum of distortion. So I can give it the characteristic that I want. So say I want to go a little more aggressive here, I can control the level, how much I want to mix it in. And this is where it gets really cool, because if I want the distortion to be primarily on the attack, the distortion will be on the attack. If I slow it down, then the attack kind of comes through more cleanly, and the distortion is later on. So here, this is in milliseconds attack time. So I can make the distortion occur later, or anywhere in the middle. So the initial attack kind of pops through, the transient pops through undistorted, and then I can determine how long I want the distortion to sustain out. So this is really, really cool. So now if I want to shape this, I can also push particular frequency areas. And let's kind of get this. So I can push the particular frequency area. So the high end may or may not So this EQ is only affecting the distorted signal here. And now I can decide how much of this I want to mix in. Right? And so this kind of can be like a really, really, really kind of cool effect here with this, where I can decide exactly where I want it. So I'm going to use it even in a more creative way, where I'm going to start to mix this in with some other elements. So here we'll just kind of take this, and with this track, I got like a loop track here. So I'm going to just kind of throw one on over here, and then let's just kind of mix this guy in. How much better does it get than this? So I want to let the attack So now we can so this isn't gonna go all together. Let's see if I can pull this back. I really dig this, so let's just kind of see what's gonna happen here if I just kind of... So let's just hear this like placed in on a kick drum. And with a short release, I can add like a bit of grit to the sound here. So let's do a similar thing here with our drum sound here on a snare. And then let's throw one up here on our overheads. Oh, yes. Pick out the squeakiness of the pedal. It's great. So it's pretty nuts. So we also have a mix bus compressor here, which is probably going crazy. No crazier than usual. So here is where I think this is getting a little bit out of hand. Let's kind of get into this guy right here a little bit, and maybe... Yeah, here's like the final thing where we can kind of make this all really come together, because this is where it's going to sound amazing on the claps. All right, let's go back. Completely different vibe here, right? And then you get... So it can really be used on so many different things here. And I'll just throw one or two others in. And this is... We're just getting into mega distortion here. Bring down the output of these guys. Of course, this is very exaggerated for effect. But just to give you a vibe for what you can do. So obviously this is like way over the top, but you get an idea of like how you can actually use this to kind of totally shape and add a lot of character to something that maybe, you know, needs like a completely reshaping. If you're just looking even to thrust this into a particular section of the song as like a distortion kind of thing that you bring in which case you could use it on the bus or mix bus and kind of mix the distortion in, automate it. Try to shape this a little bit.
Don't be fed. The moon is brand new. Dirt into bread. Lucky few.
And this can also be used as just a way of warming up a sound. So if I just keep this at normal boost level, I can just bring in a little bit of low end.
The moon is brand new. Dirt into bread. Lucky few.
And then add just a touch of presence.
it shall
presence.
pass. The wine in your glass, a scratch in your throat, honey hands.
So it becomes a way of mixing in a little bit of an edgy characteristic.
The moon is brand new, dirt into bread, lucky few.
Right, and this is the basic way that one of the ways that you can use this plugin. So obviously you could use it for guitars, which is also very cool, but you could use this on almost any instrument. And this is kind of part of Manny's design, is that it's not just about, it's as much about tonal shaping and adding an edge to sounds as it is about getting very specific to just guitar distortion or amp distortion. The attack and release times become really powerful, and the tonal shaping tools allow you to really control that, along with the mix control, which determines like how much you mix in. So you can add that edginess on the attack. Later in the sustain, you could have it hold for whatever length of time that you want. You can determine how much you want it to overdrive, mix in just the amount you want, and it just gives you an amazing palette of different distortion options. So not just your regular everyday kind of distortion thing, something that's much cooler, really unique, and kind of a powerful plugin worth pulling out of the box if you have the Manny Marroquin Signature Series. And it's not, if not, then it's worth a look-see. For at least a demo to check it out and see if it kind of works. Really cool for any type of music, whatever you want to do, just the ability to shape things and mix things in. All right, there you have it, the Manny Marroquin Distortion by Waves.